Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope you're well, hope you're looking after yourselves on the Tuesday evening. I said in a previous video earlier about the update around the striker position. There's a few sort of names that have come out that, over the sort of past couple of days have been interesting, like the Ollie Watkins, for example. So we're going to talk a little bit about a fresh name in Santiago Gimenez. We do also have an update around Ivan Toney, and it's definitely an interesting one, I won't lie. And I think we're sort of starting to see a few more sort of rumours sprinkling around, and it could be a few different things. It can be the agent talk, trying to drum up their interest for their clients and try and get them a better deal and a better club. Or it could be that they're trying to just drum up interest within their own club right now to get a better contract themselves. We do also have an update on just really quickly on that as well. But it also could be there's a few new faces at Spurs who have taken roles now, and maybe they're starting to sort of gauge the market a little bit, have an eye on a few different players and what have you. I'm not saying Scott Munn does, I'm just saying Scott Munn obviously being a big name in that. So let's just jump in with Santiago Jimenez. And this comes from 90 Minute Football, who said that final striker Santiago Jimenez was the subject of scouting visits from Tottenham, Arsenal and Chelsea over the weekend for their match against Ajax. Now, they didn't really get to see a lot, I won't lie. If you haven't seen the absolute manic scenes of that game, you'll find that the game was actually called off, and it's not because of weather or the lighting wasn't working, or like we had at Brentford, some of the sanitary things aren't working. It was the fact that Ajax were losing 3-0 and their fans went berserk is the best word I'm going to describe it. Basically, the fans went absolutely mental and started just tearing up the place, and it wasn't safe for the players to play in the Eredivisie and referees' eyes. And, I think Ajax's director of football's been sacked. I think Van Basten has come out and absolutely slaughtered the Eredivisie. It's a manic time over in that league. But yeah, he was of interest of a few teams there. And I will go through his stats with you and give you a bit of an idea. So Santiago Jimenez, he is 22 years old, plays for Feyenoord Rotterdam. He does have a contract leading to the summer of 2027, and his market value, transfer market reckoning, is about 25 million euros. So not crazy expensive. And I will go through some of his stats because I think you'll find it's very interesting. So if I look at the 2022-23 season, he was in the Eredivisie, by the way. He played 32 times, scoring 15 goals and 3 assists. So 18 goal contributions in 32. Not bad when all things considered, when you think about a guy who's 2021 or something like that. He did have a pretty decent time around other competitions as well. And in other competitions, he played 18 times and he scored 13 goals. So not bad in all things considered. 28 goals in 50 games. For a 21-year-old, it is good no matter what league you're talking about. I think a lot of people like Gift Orban, for example. Gift hasn't had all that much time, really. And same with this guy. So, you do have to kind of, like Vuskovic, you have to take a punt a little bit on the fact that you can get them coached up and get them better. This season, though, he started like a house on fire. He's actually played 5 games in the Eredivisie and scored 6 goals. So he is set off in electric fashion. And the fact at the age of 22, he's also, just read this, he's also capped 20 times by Mexico. That's quite an impressive feat. And I think the way I look at all these deals, I look at any player, let's call him a player, any footballer player that is, maybe young, between that sort of 19 to 23 mark. And, sometimes, unless you're Jude Bellingham and those sort of players, sometimes you've got to sort of have an idea of, the potential is high, but how can you get them to that potential? Do they need to stay in that division for another year? Do you get them on the bench? Do you send them out to a lower league team in the English leagues? It can be a few different ideas, and the idea is trying to get them there. Not just get them there, but also get them there as quickly as possible so it benefits you and your team. The way I look at it is Ange's a coach, and a very good coach. You look at what he's done in 6 games at Spurs. If this guy, Santiago, is coming in January, for example, and we're still only playing once a week, you're going to give him a 6-month runway into the summer where you then get to spend a whole pre-season with Spurs. Then we go into next season, to potentially having European football playing twice a week. he would have been embedded. He'd have been ready to go, if you know what I mean. You know, you're looking at someone like Pedro Porro, for example, of last season, joining in January. Joined right at the end of January, didn't have time. Obviously, change of coach doesn't help. You look at this season, different right back, different player. And that can happen with any player if you bring them in at the right time. And I think January is such a key time when we're only playing once a week that you're going to get players who need coaching. They need time in this system that you can keep giving them that time and keep giving them that runway to just develop. And I think that is perfect for Santiago. So I'm not saying it would happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying it's very interesting that that has been brought up because it's definitely something of interest to, hey, there's a few of you that commented, you know who you are about Santiago. Let's talk Ivan Toney. So it was earlier today. I actually, hands up, did miss this. But Ekrem Kanur, who has been quite on the whole Ivan Toney moving trail. And we've talked about how Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager, said that he can go for the right price. And I think, I think Ivan Toney's got new representation now. All angles and avenues are leading to him moving, right? So Ekrem came out and said that Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal are ready to step up their interest in England striker Ivan Toney in January. Brentford valued the 27-year-old at £60 million. So let's kind of break this down. It'll be interesting to see how we go between now and January. I mean, look, we're sitting at the end, let's call it start of October. We're starting to reach a point where you've got October, you've got November, you've got December, you've got 3 months of football where there's a lot of information you're going to get, especially with Ange still needing time to sort of see certain players. I think a lot of Spurs fans kind of go, he should know his best team is now, he should know what he has, blah, blah, blah. You still need time. He's still very new to the role. He's only been here a few months. And things can change. Benton could come back from injury and Bentancur may not look very good. He may actually look a lot worse and you might go, oh God, we might actually need a centre midfielder. You might get injuries. You might get regression. Sonny might stop scoring these goals and he might have a bit of a barren spell. And then you look at Richarlison. Does Richarlison set off high? Does Brian Hill come in and absolutely tear up the joint? Does he stink up the joint? It's all these things in the next 3 months we're going to see a lot of. And I think we're going to know come January, do we truly need that number 9? If we do need that number 9, we need to be making sure that we get someone who's ready to go now. Now, that doesn't mean a Santiago Gimenez or a Alejo Veliz, because I expect to see a little bit of Alejo Veliz in the next couple of months. He might come in and he might score 4 and 3. And you might go, hang on a second. I think through him, Son and Richarlison, we've got enough to the end of the season, which I'm all for. Because come summertime, you're going to have more to play with. You're going to have more of a market to work in. You're going to see what's out there. And someone might come through and surprise you. And you might go, hey, I'll have a bit of that. And before someone says it, no, not Evan Ferguson. He's going to cost too much, right? He's going to cost way too much. And we're not spending 120 to 150 million on him. It's not happening, all right? We're going to be spending a lot less than that. So if we're going to be spending a lot less than that, Santiago Jimenez is going to be a lot less than that if it's 25, 30 million euros, And Ivan Toney is going to cost half of what Evan Ferguson, if not more than half, what Evan Ferguson is going to cost. Sorry, less than half. More than half, I was going to say it's more. But anyway, you get the idea. I think with Ivan Toney, yes, quality player. I think we can all kind of agree that. It gives you option when we do whip balls into the box that he is a physical presence. He is good in the air. And with great supply, I think he scores even more than he would at Brentford. No offence to Brentford. With him, it's like Ollie Watkins. I looked at both of them and I thought, age-wise, I'm not too bothered them being 28 because I still think you're going to have a good 4 or 5 years out of them. My only thing is, does Ange want to get someone and say, look, if you give me 6 months of them, I'll make them 85, 90% of what I can make out of Ivan Toney. It's going to cost a fraction of it. And that's the beauty of coaching. And that, in Daniel Levy's eyes, is the beauty of following an Ange Postecoglou style, There's going to be money spent in January. We know that. We're going to be moving players on. We know that. I mean, for example, Højbjerg now has new representation or looking for new representation when it comes to agents. That is all geared towards him moving in January. What happens with Giovanni Lo Celso? What happens with a Ryan Sessegnon, a Brian Hill? Richarlison, Emerson, these guys that maybe aren't playing so much, do they want to move in January? All these things play a massive, massive part. And if that's the case, Obviously, I know we'll be well ahead of schedule now that we're looking at new targets and just signing off on people saying yes, no, and maybe to certain people. But I'll be interested to know, do they go, look, we're going to sign one big name like we did with like a Maddison, and then we're going to fill out a few different areas of players that we need. We need another centre-half still. Maybe does Ashley Phillips kick on? We don't know. Vuskovic isn't going to be here for a little while still. So, do we need to get another centre-half? Does Eric Dyer move on? And to be honest, I'd take a loan deal with him moving for free in the summer. I don't mind just moving him on for 6 months. Just let him go. I'd rather someone come into the squad that we're going to want for the long haul. And that's what I guess for something I view Perisic as. If, he's not going to be here for the long haul, he's only going to be here for the next 6 months, I'd rather someone come in now, give us that utility style, we can play different positions, but it gives us more going forward for the next 2, 3, 4 years. And that's how I view a lot of these things. So I'll be interested to see what sort of happens with the whole striker position. There's a lot of variables. Players can start playing well, start playing poorly. Some players maybe come back from injuries, and tear it up. Alejo Veliz might come through. All these things play a massive part. I just think we're clearly evidently in the striker market, is all I would say. So I expect more updates to be coming. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, drop a like on the video if you did. I'll just say that again. I know. I've just eaten, so I've got a bit of food brain. In the comment section below, when we talk about Santiago Gimenez, look, would he be a guy that you want? I know a few of you told me that you like him, but if you do like him, tell me why that you want him. Obviously, with Ivan Toney, would it be something that you would want more of as a guy who's maybe more established than a guy that needs coaching up? You let me know. I know you will. I do enjoy our conversations. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.